I didn't run away because I was selfish. I ran because staying meant being beaten, violated, and possibly killed by the two people society says I should love unconditionally, my husband and my son. I, 35F, have a son, 18M, and a husband, 45M, who I'm attempting to divorce. I met my husband when I was 16 at the church in my hometown. At 17 he invited me over and I don't remember it well, but we ended up sleeping together. I was supposed to be cleaning his house for some extra pocket change but ended up pregnant. I still can't remember everything that happened, but when my parents found out they confronted him and made me marry him. I had my son not much longer after that. My husband's a brute, he was always mean to me. I tried my best to make him happy. I'd cook his favorite foods, clean the house extra nice, do childcare work to make a few dollars to buy him a treat or two, but if I made one mistake he didn't like, he'd hit me. I used to cry to my father about it, but he'd tell me it's my punishment for having premarital sex. I'd ask my father what my husband's punishment was and he'd say, his punishment is having to settle for you. I don't think I ever recovered from that. Before anyone asks about my mother, she's always been kind of out of it. She's been on medication since I was a child and she's kind of like a zombie. She doesn't talk much or do much of anything unless my father says so. She was different when I was little, but I hardly remember those days. The hitting got worse, to the point where I wasn't really allowed to leave the house. If I did, I had to wear makeup or else my husband would think I was trying to get him in trouble. My son grew up watching this. I've heard stories of kids hating their abusive fathers, but my son loved his father more than he loved me. I never wanted my son to hate his father, but he started acting out and eventually he started laying hands on me too. My son started hitting me when he was 10. It was light and I'd tell him to stop, but as he got older he started beating me. If I told him no, he'd beat me. If I didn't do something he wanted, he'd slap or kick or even punch me. And my husband would back him up a lot of the time. He'd say, he's just learning to be a man. He'll stop when he's older and has his own wife. It got to the point where I was terrified of my baby. The only thing in this world I ever got to make, and he terrified me. When he was 16 he broke my arm really bad because I showed my husband his report card. My husband disciplined him but never told me how. I grew to hate my son so much every day, but I still tried to be good to him, to help him. He didn't want that. I couldn't make him want that. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep without dreaming of my son and husband hurting me. My son once pinned me on the ground because I had asked him to help me lift something. I'm frail so I can't lift much. When he pinned me, he hit me a lot and I could feel it. Hurting me aroused him. He humped me for a few seconds and then he started screaming at me, saying it was all my fault, and locked himself in his room. I didn't tell my husband. I should have, but somehow I felt like I just would have gotten hurt worse by one of them. He was 17 when this happened, so last year. After his 18th birthday in January, I packed a bag and wandered off into the night. I don't have friends, my father wouldn't help me even if I told him these things. I slept on a park bench and went to the library and looked up a woman's shelter. I worked really hard and got a studio apartment. I don't know how, but my son found me. He spent hours at my door knocking and crying for me, calling me mama. He hadn't called me that in years. I was terrified he'd break the door down and drag me back to the house, but my neighbors made him leave. My son has also gotten my number somehow. Now he, my husband, my father, and some of my son's friends are texting me and calling me horrible names. My son says I'm a bad mother for running away and not loving him the way he loves me. My husband says he won't grant me a divorce and that he'll take whatever I have right now and that I've failed as a woman. My father says I'll die alone because I'm a bad woman. My father even got my mother on the phone to speak to me. She's all pilled out though, so I shouldn't take her words to heart, but she says that a woman can never abandon her child no matter how painful life gets. She told me when my father hurt her she never left me, so I was a coward and a failure for leaving my son. She said she could forgive divorce but not leaving my baby behind. AITA? Edit. While I have no issues responding to comments, the idea of replying to personal messages terrifies me for some reason. Please don't be upset if I don't message you, I don't mean to be weird. Edit 2. I've been reading a lot of your comments and I'm grateful and very overwhelmed. I won't get too specific, but I just packed an essentials bag and have purchased a ticket for out of town. I got off the phone with a shelter a few thousand miles away and they're willing to get me once I arrive in their city. I'll figure out divorces and restraining orders once I'm finally there. Until then, I'll read comments to see if there are any more useful things to learn. Luckily my studio is on a month-to-month lease because I had never really planned on making this a permanent home. So leaving isn't as hard as I thought. Running away the first time was hard, but maybe the second time will be easier. Update, here's a small update, and I likely won't update again due to being nervous about everything, but I'm on a bus. I got on this morning and I'm about 5 hours away from the state and then I'll be getting on a plane. I had enough money for a ticket so I'll be super far away. I won't work on the divorce until a few months from now and I have a small job lined up. It's nothing special, just a $12 per hour fast food gig. I'm grateful for all the advice. My old landlord was sorry to see me go, but I paid off this month's rent and told him he can sell the little bit of furniture I had. He said he'd give me half of that money once it's all sold. He's very kind, a little scary looking, but when I spoke to him over the phone after I had left he was very understanding. Thank you all for everything and I'm sorry but this is the last thing anyone will hear from me unless I work up the nerve to update again. You are all incredibly wonderful and special people to me. Update 2 to 20 August 2024, 4 months after original post. I know it hasn't been that long but it feels like it has. I just want you all to know I'm fine. I have a roommate now. She's a lovely older lady who plays piano. She's been allowing me to rent a bedroom from her and all I have to do is pay $300 per mo and help her around the house when I'm not working. I have a divorce lawyer who's been dandy with me, though it's a little difficult since my husband is so far away and not being kind about it since I won't communicate with him outside a lawyer. My son hasn't come close to finding me at all though I do miss him sometimes. I mean I gave birth to him, it's hard to be strong about my feelings regarding him, but I know I'll never allow myself to be near him again no matter how sad I feel about it.
My roommate is around 59 and she's a lovely baker. She teaches me all these lovely recipes for cobbler and so on. I know it's weird, but I feel like she's the first real friend I've had since I was a small child. I haven't tried dating. I don't think I will. I also tried marijuana for the first time. Absolutely pleasant. My roommate got it for me. She uses it for her back pain, but I use it for bed. It helps me sleep without night terrors. I feel like I'm learning what life is now, and I actually love it. Update 3. The divorce is still pending, but my lawyer says that things are looking in my favor. Recently, I joined a small book club in my town and have started socializing with other women my age. It's so exciting. Some of the books we're reading are a bit risque, but it's all very fun to me. My roommate hasn't been doing the best, though. She's gotten very sick, and it's been making me sad. I finally got a car and for the first time my driver's license, so I've been taking her back and forth to the doctors and got to meet her children. They are a little younger than me, but they are all kind and call me their big sister. They are all in their mid-20s. They've been grateful that I've been helping her out and invited me to a family dinner that her eldest daughter's hosting for her youngest daughter's baby shower. I'm super excited because her eldest daughter is allowing me to help cook for everything, and I love cooking. I'm also super excited because I get to meet the eldest daughter's toddlers and I absolutely adore children. Life feels alright. I've even thought about trying to date, after my therapist says I'm ready for it. That's gonna be ages down the road though. I hope you are all doing well.